No.
Hey friends,
Hello,
it's me, Cynthia,
and Azalea.
and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. We had a rainy day here in Asheville, and it's finally let up. So it feels like every Sunday that we've gone on, we've had a rainy day.
We got to go walk though. That
Yeah,
was
we
nice.
did. We did get to walk.
What's on our agenda today?
Well, today we will be working with clay again, and I'm going to also show you guys some fun things, trying out different products that I have purchased in the last, I don't know, I'm always kind of buying clay if I find it. There's one I tried out, and I'm going to show it to you guys right now. I don't know if you've heard of this. Oh, I see we have people already on. Hello, friends. Oh, hello, Julie. So what was I saying? Oh, so I was going to say the different types of clay. So I have tried out pretty much every brand, because I'm kind of compulsive clay user. And one of the things I like to make, and you guys have seen this, I haven't made them in a long time, because it seemed like, where'd that necklace go? It was just sitting here. Oh, right under my hand. If there was a snake, it had bit me. Meryl says, hello from Hawaii. Oh, I miss Hawaii.
Wish I was in Hawaii right now.
Same. And Facebook user says hello. Not sure who that is. Facebook user. Not sure. You guys remember when I used to make these kind of necklaces?
I love
back
how
in the
dainty
day?
they are.
Cannot. Where's the
Camera's
camera?
right here.
Hi, Jeanette. You guys see that? Is it?
You have to do this.
Oh, get it in there. So I used to make these polymer clay, I guess embedded bezels. I don't know. But anyway, back in, I don't know, this was every bead and button, I would make a batch, and I would make maybe 10 and 20. I'd do 10 small and 10 large. And they would take me, I would figure out an amount of time, but they would take me a minute to make. And I'll show you some of the things that I used. One of the things, I set here this tray, I'm going to get ready to show you guys, is this, this is one of the tins that I've made into a palette. Check this out.
You might have to talk a little bit louder.
Azalea says I'm not talking loud enough. So this is a palette, a tin, and I put all my clay in there. So you guys have seen my big palette. This is the big palette, and this is a DMC thread holder from Michaels. And this is the kind of plastic that doesn't get eaten by the clay. Some of the plastics that you've seen, like, you know what does not like polymer clay that I just recently discovered? Vintage paints. It does not love it. So I had a piece that I put into my kit, and it ate the paint away. So the paint looked like it was a shriveledy skin. It actually looked pretty cool because it was on a salamander, and I was like, I don't remember putting all that texture on that piece. Turns out I didn't put all that texture. It was just the clay that had buckled. So, you know, it was not awesome. I didn't love that moment, but it was good to know that you can't use those in conjunction. So maybe if it's on painted polymer, but for some reason uncured polymer clay, you know, if you set a piece on a wooden surface, it'll totally gum up, and then it's like it reacts to the varnish. So you can't use it on certain plastics. And a lot of times that's okay, you know, if you know what plastic, like these containers, that this is a product called Bees Putty. And I think this comes out of, it's a German product, and I sent for this. I follow a few groups on Facebook that deal with making masters, making miniatures and things. And this clay was supposedly really flexible and really good for pieces that have a lot of movement. So I'm going to show you this in a second. I see we have a couple of comments. Oh, Kathy, she says, Cynthia, I received my hand-knotted butterfly necklace yesterday. It's gorgeous. Thank you for sharing your talent.
I'm surprised that got to you so fast.
Yeah,
I
that was
shipped
pretty
that
fast.
just the other day.
Well, time is moving at an increased level for us.
We've been very busy.
Yeah, busy and
We've
working
been
hard every day.
making
so.
things for the business, shipping orders, cleaning up our studio, and revamping it so it can be super awesome.
Well, the main reason, I don't know if this happens to y'all, but I spend a portion of my day, every single day, ever since I was practically that I could look for something. I have not spent one day where I wasn't looking for something.
Digging for something.
Every single day.
I spent, like, this past week, I counted it up. I spent a total of, like, 6 hours digging for a plastic container full of leather working tools because I want to get into making bags. I got the fever after we were hanging out with our friend Kate Richburg. And I was
Kate
like,
has a sale rate. And, I mean, her sewing studio is epic. She has all kinds of machines.
But I was going to make
And-
myself a Draculaura purse from Monster High, and I was like, okay, I don't have a sale right, but I could probably stamp these holes and hand sew it because it's not like a big thing.
Yeah, you could do that.
And I have been digging so hard for those leather tools because I don't want to have to hand poke each one with an awl. You have those
That's
things
the
that have
old
the
way.
prongs.
So
that
that's
you
how I used to have to
hammer
do it. There
onto it.
used to be this thing.
I don't want to have to do that.
And it was like pliers, but the teeth came together and they were sharp. And so they went like this. Let me see, like that. And they would bite into the leather. And you would go in and punch all the way around where you wanted your stitches to be. Because
We should do a
if
video on it.
you had to go through and force the needle without any
You could
crease,
break a needle.
it is so hard. Depending, of course, if you have really thin leather, then it's no big deal. But on any kind of vegetable tan or anything else, that has a little bit of tooth or body to it, it's really hard. So pre-stamping your holes it just makes life so much easier. And I didn't know that trick, and I used to do back in my youth time when I was this gal's age. I used to be in this thing called the SCA. It's the Society of Creative Anachronism, where people, grown adults,
Seems like I would be
and
going into
children
that.
could pick a time in history
It
and
has
you
to be
recreate it.
specific to.
Well, yeah, they don't
Because they don't
want
want you
anything from
going
like
any-
the 20s.
They
It's
don't
not
want you
that.
going
It's-
any later than I think it's 1500s. At least where we are, the latest you can go is maybe the 1500s.
Because she was like, what about Regency?
Regency's
And
my
that
favorite
was
because
not-
my heart has a special tender place because I watched Pride and Prejudice. I didn't
See,
grow
when you
up-
grow up watching
I
Pride and
did
Prejudice,
not grow up on like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and stuff. I've never even seen those. I grew up on Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility and
so
like
it would be.
Practical
I
Magic.
told her later. I said, since you're, all of these people, the love interests, Aragorn, Mr. Darcy. I said, the impossible. You are seeing.
Then the
what-
standards are unbelievable.
Then the standards
your
are
standards
so
are
high.
but then over time your standards stay high, but your expectations are super low.
So
But it's not. I mean, oh well. I'm not gonna stoop down for any less than Aragorn and Darcy. Well,
Exactly.
Darcy's okay. Darcy is
Darcy had to learn some lessons. So
Yeah, he's not my. He used to be my favorite, but he's not really my favorite anymore.
I love
he's
Mr. Darcy.
He's okay. He's not bad, but he's not.
he's not bad, but he's
He's
not.
not bad, but he doesn't. He's
He's
okay.
So you guys have not seen it. It's a story.
I'm pretty sure
about-
most people have seen Pride and Prejudice, or at least read it. It's
Maybe.
extremely popular.
Maybe
Our
I don't know.
viewers, I
Our
would
viewers, I
assume-
would say yes.
Yes.
Our viewers.
Everybody here knows Mr. Darcy.
All right, I'm gonna flip this camera around. Let's get this party started.
Okay, I'll get out of the way.
All right, friends, let's do this. I'm gonna flip this camera around. We're 8 minutes in. You guys don't want to watch me sit here, like, getting all sweaty and
Getting all fired up about
getting
different
fired up
love
about
interests from old movies.
Mr. Darcy and Aragorn and what have you.
Yeah, Aragorn is very
High standards.
well, that's how it should be. Always have high standards.
Always have high standards.
Dang.
All right, here we go. Oh, Vicky says she couldn't find us. Why is that, Azalea? Go look and see why Vicky couldn't find us. Are we channeling to everywhere we can go?
I think so.
Oh,
will check it
I got
out.
this spread out. I just noticed it. All right, I'm going to show you. I had a plan to show you guys this bead that I make. And I will still show you that, but I'll also show you this since I got it out. I'm like a hummingbird sometimes. I get into everything, buzzing around. So here's a little, I make these for...
June is here.
Oh, hey, June. If you guys have ever seen... I don't know, do I sell these Azalea on the website? If you guys are interested, give me a little thumbs up or something so then I know if you're interested. I can make some. If nobody wants them but me, then I'll just keep making them for me. But I make them for this. So I have a bunch of different designs. I've made a few bezels for out of pewter. And sometimes they work great. And they, it's just, you just have to fill it with resin. In this case, this is polymer clay inside there. And I didn't paint it. That's not painted at all. I do that by doing this. Oh, hello, Lorraine. She says, hi, Cynthia and Azalea. Oh, Vicky says it's hard to find good bezels. I would agree with that. Anne says she wants a bezel. All right, I'll get that out. And I think these would be in like the $16 to $20 range. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. But I've never really made those for production. Because I don't know. Does anybody want that? Who knows? I don't know. So I'll tell you how I get started on this. Usually, if I want a background, sometimes I'll put a little background in there. Oh, Mary says she'd like a bezel. Is that bronze? This is bronze. I could make them, we could do them in sterling, bronze, or shibuichi. And shibuichi is that kind of burgundy metal. It's done by heat. All right, so what I usually do to make one of these is I'll start with a different color, or the color that I want the background to be. So if I wanted this to be blue, whatever the background, I would put a thin sheet and press it into this part. Now, before I do that, I would clean that out with a little bit of alcohol because you don't want anything greasy in there. Like if you were touching it or whatever you would be doing, I don't know. Maybe you were eating fried chicken before you handled it. I don't know. But the key is to wipe it out, even with a paper towel. That way, any kind of stuff in there will not prevent your polymer from sticking. And so you can mix up stuff. I use this like this, just the pinch method of working. And then if I have more clay, I can just return it back in here in the color. So then I can...
I found them the other day. I was pressing waxes to build some trees, and I found the molds for those bezels. Would it be a good option to have them also in silver?
I think so. I see people saying, Wendy says, yes, bezel, please.
People are saying
what?
Shibuichi,
Okay,
bezel,
what
bronze.
metal do you guys have interest in? Okay, so I'm not even mixing that hard. I kind of like that swirliness. Vicky says yes.
Yes.
Yes. She says Shibu. So look, at when I have extra, I return it to the zone if I don't need it. And that didn't take much. Mary says she'd love sterling. So we're going to flatten that.
We should make sterling and bronze and Shibu and have them on the website maybe. Make a
Yeah,
whole bunch
maybe.
of them.
This is like, every time I do this, I'm like, I'm going to do it where I just do one thing. And I'll do it like, instead, I'm going to show you guys like 50 things. And then I end up going on for like
Keeps
2
it
hours. So I'm using this wooden tool to just scrape it in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to stick. Because that hole is actually pretty deep. Maybe I need to move in tighter. Alright, let's see, there we go. Now, I'm doing this with the color clay because I don't want to have to paint it afterwards. Because sometimes the paint seems to sit on top of the pieces and then you can kind of see it. So, like if I were to do washes, I wish I could get in there tighter, but I can't really. So, can't show you what I'm talking about with that. We need to get that app that Kate has. I think it was called Kava or something, where you could get in there and make it magnify. I don't think I have that app yet. Alright, so just push that in. And you can use this with pretty much any bezel. And you know what? You could even make a polymer bezel. Or wood. Or, you know, whatever you can find that, that suits. Doesn't have to be. I've seen them made out of wood. And I've seen them made out of clay. In fact, I've made them out of polymer. Pretty easy to do. I'll maybe do a live with that. You just have to pre-bake this part. Alright, so that's pretty good. Oh, thanks, Julie. She said our lives are the best. Thank
Oh,
you.
thanks. We're doing
That
our
makes
best.
me feel smiley and happy in my heart.
We're trying.
Yeah, we are trying. We really are. I'm all the time researching how to make it better. And every time we get a little money, we put it towards improving our lives. In fact, Azalea, she has her own good news. We've raised money to get her a serger, guys.
One that does cover stitch.
One that does cover stitch. So we're really thrilled. That should be here next week. We're pretty excited about that.
We're going to make stuff to sell with that. You guys get ready. It's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. We're going to make different wraps and different things like that. Hand dyed. You know, we like dyeing fabric. Maybe you guys have seen our lives that we did with Candy back in the day when we did a few ice dyeing tutorials. That was fun. Remember that? So good. Alright, so that's my grassy background. It doesn't look fantastic right here, but you know what? It's going to be covered up anyway with a creature of some sort. So it doesn't really matter. But already you can see with just minimal, that just... So this stuff has already been mixed, and what I'm doing, when you have a little pinch of it, like this, it takes but a few seconds to condition it, because this was already pre-conditioned. Now, I could... One of the things I like to do is I get it ready. So I have this part done, right? Now, I like it. It looks pretty good. Even thickness-ish. It's not exactly even thickness all the way around, but I can always fix it after. Oh, Terry says, love you guys because I work y'all are my only lives. Oh, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Every time someone likes or shares or keeps spreading the word, it means a lot. All right, I just put that piece in my little oven. I'm going to put it at, actually I'm going to show you that. I'll show you. This is the setup. I put this on a stool because this it doesn't fit my table, so I can't put it. This is my pasta machine. And I moved this stuff over here so you guys could see it. So what I have in here are stuff that I'm going to bake. So I'm going to put this 70, and it's really thin, so I'm going to do cook time. Let's see, how about 3 minutes? That should do it. And then the air circulates through here. And this thing was only ever used for clay. I don't use it for food. And it was like $40 or $50. It's made for like air frying a chicken. So I'm going to let that go. Now, alternatively, if you don't want to use this, you could also use a heat gun and just heat it. So the key here is just firming that up so it doesn't go anywhere when I work on top of it. All right, let's go back to the tray. Oh, Colite. She says, hi, Cynthia. Hey, Azalea. Hello from Tucson.
Hello.
Kathleen says, I understand that. She's probably talking about the lives. You know, sometimes it's, if you can't make, like, I like to see my friends' lives. Oh, you guys want to see a doll I'm making? I just found this on my desk here. Here's one of them. Now, she's naked, y'all. She's just her parts. But she's dollhouse size. So this needs to be cast. But she'll have clothes. She's not going to go naked, so don't worry. This is just the you know, her body. You can just imagine.
She is so cute.
Oh, thank you. But I'm going to cast her in resin. I'm probably going to joint the neck here so that she can, you know, it'd be kind of cool to make a puppet out of her. So anyway, that's a doll I'm working on. Back in the thing you go. And I got another one over here. These are on my tray. Oh, these are game pieces I'm working on, you guys. Get ready. You guys didn't know this, but I'm also a game designer. All right. I don't know what happened to that other doll. All right, let me see what it says. I see some other... Oh, Wendy says, sorry, I have to go now. I'll catch the replay. Oh, thanks for joining us, Wendy. We appreciate it. Terry says, I call y'all my friends from Asheville. Thank you. You guys are all my friends, too. Where do you find the time? Vicky. Well, when I'm not hunting for stuff, I'm doing, I try to cut corners with other things. And by cutting corners, I mean like, I guess, what's a good word for it? Killing two birds with one stone. If I can do something like my exercise is also the time when I'm taking pictures. You know, so it's like multitasking. I'm getting a walk in while I'm also making videos.
These are right out there.
Oh, Azalea. So you guys, I don't know if you know this, but Azalea has been practicing making wax trees. Hand me one so I can show that.
Good at it, apparently. Hold on
She's.
a second. I'm wiping them off. They're like, you can tell them these are so fresh.
They're still
warm.
not cooking. You know what? Sometimes I won't cook, Vicky. It's entirely possible. So I just made a kind of a sparkly black brown color there. And this guy, let's see. I'm gonna open up my little oven. There's something up with the lid. I need to look at that. All right, it's hot. Wish I had some tongs over here.
All right, they're gonna love this right now, and I love it too because I picked all these. All right.
Okay, show it.
So you guys, I've been practicing my wax work, and the other day I built my first wax tree. My dad said it was the most perfect one that he's ever seen that he didn't make himself, and I picked all of these, and I made some to fill some of the existing orders, and then I used up the rest of the space on the tree to make some stuff that I thought you guys might like. And this is all sterling silver, and I'm really into roses, so I grabbed 2 different roses, and then here's the iris. This is one I think is a pomegranate.
You can save that for Diane. You can't have that one. I made that for my friend, and I will
bee.
deliver that to her.
This bee is popular, but now it's in sterling silver. And then the arrow clasp, we've had this before, and we've had the snake before, but we've never had this in silver. And I love it, because I love roses, and I love our links that we make. And I love our filigree pendants, too. This one's like a pomegranate, I think. And the other thing is that I made the bird filigree that's kind of like a teardrop shape, but we can't sell that tonight because I made those to fill existing orders on the store. So sorry that's taken so long because we had to make some of y'all's pieces again. And it's a whole process. You have to press all the waxes, and you have to make sure they don't come out with any air bubbles, and you got to build the tree.
Yeah, you have to make them perfect.
When you fill up the thing, you may have built a perfect tree, but there's always a chance that it doesn't come out in silver. So, that's why sometimes if you order something in silver, if we don't have it in stock, we have to make it, and sometimes it takes a little longer. So thank you guys for your patience. I appreciate it. Because whenever you send any emails, it goes to me, and I fill all of the orders. So I appreciate everybody's patience and support. But we'll show these later on. I have to make tags for them, but then you guys can...
We're going to do this for now.
We'll do the lot sale afterwards, but I just wanted to show you guys this while they're like fresh off the wheel.
They were cast this morning. Azalea is getting pretty good at it, you guys. It's starting the next generation.
I'm a natural caster. It's a good thing I've chose to be in this business.
Mm-hmm.
I love this bee, juicy and thick.
Oh yes.
It's sterling.
Our friend Tony Blackwell, I don't know if you guys know our friend Tony, but he is such an angel. He stopped by like yesterday and dropped off a vacuum casting machine. He's like, I don't use this anymore, and I could sell it, but I just love you guys. And so, you know what? We have a bigger casting machine now, and that is fantastic news. I don't know if you guys know, but those are worth a lot of money. Oh, that's Marty. Let's aim the camera at him for a second.
He hid all day long. We could not find him.
He hid for hours today, you guys. That cat was not around.
He is a good boy.
He was not around anywhere to be seen for hours. He went off. We are joking all the time that he goes off into other dimensions. Because when he hides, you can't find him. Okay, so I used this little tool to get that because it was hot. That took about 3 minutes. So now we have a background. And so I used translucent clay, and it made that a little bit... Marty, stop it! It made that kind of like milky. So just now I massaged some of this clay to make a bird shape. I'm going to make a bird girl. Like this. put that there so you guys can see it. Alright, so the first thing, the head is a little bit different color. You can't really distinguish that on, at least on my end, it looks kind of like the same. But I'll use a base color, just like that. And then kind of wedge it in there so it looks like it fits. Isn't that cute? Oh, greetings from Oakland. Hello, I love Oakland. We do a show there every once in a while. Oh, Kathleen says, I would like the tree if it's for sale. Did you have one with a tree on it?
That was Diane.
Oh, is that the one with Diane? My friend, I made that for my friend Diane. She lives in the desert somewhere called near Joshua Tree in a place called Landers. And I make that for her. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try and get this where it's on the screen. I'm going to do a quick... I need to put my optivisors on. What am I doing here? Thinking I'm some young person going to be able to see that. Alright, so the background is already, you can see, it's already cooked and it's not budging. Now if you were to try to do this without, it would just kind of make a little bit of a mess. Now I try to put my piece so that it doesn't have air behind it, because sometimes if it has a big like hole behind it, it can trap air and make bubbles when you go to pour the resin in, which we can do next week after I experiment with some UV resins, because I haven't tried it with bezels. I've only ever used traditional resin. Alright, and then I'm going to get another color for the face. Pick that out. Let's see, she could have this kind of, you just need a little bit. Kathleen says, oh, okay, no problem. It's for Diane. She makes necklaces. She doesn't sell the pendants. She just makes them, you know, finished jewelry. Whatever I don't need, I put it back in the same area. That's what all those little things are from past projects. And you could use the same sort of technique to make little canes or little bits, like the way Cynthia Toops, if you've ever seen her mosaics. She probably has a similar, probably a more sophisticated way of getting her clay. But I like using colored clay with this, with all the different kinds of colors, so that I don't have to paint it afterward. And that, let me just tell you, that's pretty nice. Because sometimes the painting sits on the surface and it doesn't look good with the resin on top for some reason. It really highlights the granulation in the paint. Now if you want that, then I guess that's pretty good. So I'm going to sculpt a teeny face in there. I have these are porcupine quills, and they drop out naturally from an African porcupine. And I get them in African Village. I get them in a big like in a bundle. You're getting a bouquet of flowers. It's a bouquet of porcupine quills. And there's a few tribes that go around in the savannah and pick them up and sell them like a flower bundle.
It's cute.
Yeah, it is pretty cute. And they're all different sizes, but I particularly like these short ones because when I flip it, I don't have to sit there and flip it and then kind of edge back down for, you know, like, it seems like it takes forever. I could just do this quick rotation. And these quills are so good because you can use different kind of nail shaping products to make the different tips. So that if you look closely, I don't know if you can see that, they're different tips. This one's kind of rounded off. It's a kind of a blunt. And then I have another one. These are my two favorite. And I've had these guys for like easily before Azalea was born. Probably made those when I was still living in Toledo, which was kind of a weird and surreal time in my life. If you've ever been to Toledo, back in the 90s, it was kind of like, it kind of felt abandoned. Like a post-apocalyptic type place going downtown. You're like, is anybody here? Does anyone live here? It was a little scary. I wasn't used to that coming from, you know, Orlando. So making that face, and you can see it's already starting to take shape, but look at how clumsy that little area is. I don't like that story. So I'm going to push that back. And since I already pre-baked the background, it's no big deal. I can just scrape that off. And the good thing about this tool, it's not metal, and so it's not scratching up that under layer, which it might have if I used one of these. Oh, Colite says, I understand UV resin likes thin layers. Ugh, yes. You know, I did do some with thick, and it did not set up. So I think that's probably the best way. But you know, the thing is with that, it might be even better because then I could go in and even paint little details on the resin. If you've ever seen that done, there's a video I saw several years ago of this artist in Japan that does layered resin pieces, and they're pretty killer. They look like real fish and things. And that might be fun to go in and detail this little guy with maybe like clouds, you know, right in that area so it looks more atmospheric, or glitter or something, you know, to make it look kind of, you know, I don't want to make it look garish. So I'm going to make the little feet. Split that up. You know, I intended on showing you how to make sugar heart beads, but this actually seemed like I wanted to do it more than that. I'll show you that. If we have time, I'll show you, because those are really easy. Alright, it's getting there. Oh yes, Vicky says a leaf. I would, you know what, that's probably a better idea, is to go in here and do a little bit of grass, so it's like it's standing in the grass. And see, there's a little piece that's kind of, I didn't notice it. That's easy to, you can take a tool and dig that out. And so if I wanted more colors, it's easy to just grab maybe some of this blue. You know, maybe. What do you guys think? That blue right there, that might be pretty. I could just grab some of it. And it's like painting almost. It's like painting with a little bit of polymer clay. And you grab it with the tool, and you paint, and then you place it the same way. It's kind of like painting, but in 3D. It's pretty fun and relaxing. Sometimes I get in the mood to make these, but I haven't made these in probably 5 years, if not more than that. Just they take a long time. Partly because I will sit here and massage the heck out of this clay until it looks perfect. And the ones I've seen, I took pictures of my old ones, and I'm like, how long did I spend making that thing? Because I'll do several layers. Okay, let's see how this is looking. And I bake between layers, so if I want to preserve something, say if I didn't want to put the face on yet, you could stack it. You could stack it by putting in one layer of clay, go bake it, then come back. It only takes 3 minutes, because this is like, that's like a millimeter, not even a millimeter. Oh, Vicky says, well, that's why your carvings are so gorgeous. Thank you. Oh, I almost forgot. I got to show you guys my carvings that I did this week. Make sure that's in focus. So instead of painting the face, I use the colored clay to detail it. So I'll get a little piece of, oh, let's see. Let's make its eyes really bright and sparkling. We'll do this. Teeny, I mean, that's a teeny little piece. I'm going to put it in there for the eye so it really pops. It's almost like doing little glass eyes. Now that looks scary, but don't worry, I'm going to put little teeny eyelids on it. We'll probably not, we'll get to some of this, but I probably won't be able to finish the whole thing. But I can definitely show. Maybe next week we'll do that. I want to make sure I can test it, just like we were talking about with the resin. I don't want to show it to you and then say, oh, well, guess what? It didn't work. I have so many products I would like to test. And I do have them, and we do test them, so it's good. I'll show you that bees putty here. I was just looking at it out of the corner of my eye. So you know what? I could actually bake that, so it's kind of like her eyeball. And then I could, but I'll probably put a little teeny little black pupil. Maybe that might be too scary. We'll see. I might bake it like this. I'm going to fix her little feathers. Now, someone asked me, they were like, why do you paint those, why do you make those little tiny bird people all the time? Why are you always making those? And I've been fixated with, some people call them harpies, some people call them sirens, some people call them in like Slavic tradition. I can't remember the name of it in the folklore, but there's one in Native American folklore, the Stormbringer. I can't remember the Cherokee word for it. But it just fascinates me that there's a mythology on something so random as a bird with a person's head on it. And the first time I heard about that was we were studying ancient Egypt when I was probably like, I don't know, how old are you when you go through ancient Egypt talk? Like 15 or so? I don't know. But they said that they left the tops of the pyramids open, like there's a hole at the top, so that the Ba, or the symbol of the soul, could fly out. And they described it as being a hawk with your head on it. And then after I heard that, I was like imagining myself as a bird with a hawk, and that seemed kind of appealing to me. I don't know, just seemed neat. And I like that idea. So in my youth, I came up with stories imagining myself, but not, obviously I didn't have to die to get to that, as with the ancient Egyptians. But it just seemed like an interesting symbol. Like, how could it be that this fantastic creature that is around all these cultures? I mean, you have it in like Poland, you have it in, obviously in Greece and Rome. Like, how did this spread at a time when communication was limited to longboats? It just seemed pretty crazy to me. Now, I meant for that to be a hat, not a hat, but like a hood, and instead it's looking like hair. But it's pretty easy to fix. So anyway, if you're curious, that's why I like them, or I like the symbolism of it. Kind of like, it's kind of like being able to fly, the freedom of that. I like the positive aspects. Of course, in ancient Rome, they had them as harpies, and were kind of a negative. Like, they were really mean and would like destroy feasts by flying over them and pooping on everything, which to me was completely horrendous. It's very negative. And historians or folklorists thought that was one of the ways that they would kind of, like a strong woman, they didn't like it, so that they would kind of make it a negative. Like, they would say, oh, look at that harpy, and that kind of has stuck. You've heard people say that. It's a complete negative. Whereas in other parts of the world, it's not a negative. Like in Native American folklore, it's a positive in that it's bringing rain. The symbol is of a cloud coming in. It's like a person's face riding over clouds to bring a storm. So that, to me, is a positive, unless it's kind of like monsoon type. If only we could fly. Exactly. Love that talk. Alright, so right now it's still looking a little weird and scary, but it takes a minute of kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, just sort of, massaging it into place is the only way I can think of. You're getting in there with the details, and you just keep pushing the clay around until it looks like how you want it to. Right now she has kind of a grumpy face. So I'm going to make her face less grumpy. All these are always women for some reason. I need to make some boy ones, especially since I'm doing that show.
Oh my gosh, you should make a bird boy that's an owl with a boy's face like Max.
That sounds cute. I could do that.
Face.
Yeah.
I gotta draw that right now.
Do it.
Urgent.
Draw it so it doesn't go anywhere. Like I always tell them, if you have an idea, you better draw it before it goes away and flies over to somebody else. Because that's what happens. If you don't do it, somebody else will. That's why you get people saying, oh my God, I had that idea. Maybe the ideas aren't like as sentient as they are in the book Big Magic. If you guys have watched or listened to that or read it by Elizabeth Gilbert. She talks about ideas as having like flying around to different people, almost like they're ghosts, hovering, waiting. To me, that sounded a little scary, but like, why does this idea need to be made so badly? Like, if you do get an idea, it's like you have to do it. All right, so that's, she kind of looks a little stumpy. This one looks a lot better, but as you can see, it takes a minute to get it, you know, like you have to go in there and you do their feet. So this is just a lot of, at the end of this, there's a lot of moving the clay around in teeny little increments. So a translation of this that would be less painstaking in the labor department would be to make flowers or fish or something else that's not going to take you forever like this. I don't know. How long have I been doing this? Oh, 40 minutes. So I guess longer than I thought. Yeah, I'm not great at estimating how long things will take to make at all. I'm usually surprised because I'm like, whoa, that took a lot longer than I thought. But while I'm making it, I don't even notice it. So, anyway, this seems like I'm going to be like fiddling with this for a while. So before that, I'm going to set this aside because I feel like I could, you know, could go on for a while. You know how it is. You get caught up in working on a project. Her head's a tiny bit big for her body. I'm going to go in there and try and zhuzh that out. That's the part, is making everything look like how you want it, how it looks in your mind's eye, I guess. Yeah, a little owl would be cute. And I'm going to kind of raise it up. And you can do that with this soft clay. You could just get in there and kind of push it around. And if you don't like what you've done, you can easily scrape that out and just begin again. It's no big deal. Although I would hate that because I already put like 40 minutes into it. So I try not to do that. I try to just say, you know what? I can make it better and I don't have to redo it because I don't like redoing things unless I have to. Unless it's going to bother you, then don't redo. So, like they say, if you're knitting and you see a place where you messed it up, are you really going to go back 6 rows? Does that dropped stitch bother you that bad? Sometimes it does. And you got to get in there and fix it. Other times you're like, okay, I'm just going to sew that close and we won't even talk about it. No one will see it. And that's, you know, that's where why people say, oh, God puts in one mistake so that you're not, or you should put in the Amish thing that every yarn store tells you. You should put in one mistake because nothing is as perfect like God. Like, yep, nothing is. So you just would as well just accept that you're going to make a mistake somewhere in there. Even though I don't like it. I love it when I make a project and there's no mistakes in my knitting or sewing, no drop stitches. Yeah, that looks pretty cute. It's getting there. Oh, Vicky says, I like how the bezel gives some support for the piece while you're carving. Yes, Colite says, I love being in the zone and time just flies by. It is my favorite state to be in. What they call that, it's when you are blessed by the muse. Yeah, I love that feeling too. So if you mess up a little, I didn't mess up, but I'm kind of pushing and pulling the clay to get it how I like it. I can just go in and easily doctor it up so it doesn't look too, you know, it doesn't look too loving hands at home. That eye I'll probably have to go in. So if I wanted to, I could bake this and add more clay. If it was like too horrendous, I could be like, ugh. And then I could have more of the blue of the eyes, or I could cover up some, with some clay so it's not too, like they're not huge, big blue globs. And then it's just a matter of refining the shapes. And I think a lot of art is that way, where you get down the basic shapes, and then you spend half the time, most of the time, refining those shapes. And the fun part is once I add the resin, it will make everything inside look way different. Like it's going to look like kind of atmospheric and deep. I love making these. I just have taken a break. But I might go in and do, like after the first layer, I'll go in and paint some. But I like how this is looking so far, so I'm not going to do too much more to it. I'm going to get her wing shape, make that look like she's looking over her shoulder. Because sometimes these really little bezels can be a challenge. They're not as easy as some of the big ones. Like the big ones, you have a little more room to maneuver, a little more room to work. And it just seems easier. So if I don't like any of that part, I mean, I could peel that whole thing out right now if I didn't like it. But, if, you know, you can always go in and kind of boost the edges and fiddle with it while the clay is raw. If you have to put it down, put it in a, like a Ziploc bag or something so the clay doesn't dry out. Because that's kind of annoying if you go back to work on it and the clay is all dried out. That's kind of not that fun. This clay might be a tiny bit stiff that's in here, but this was all conditioned before I put it in, and all it takes is a little bit of mixing and it kind of makes it come back to life. But if I had left this open, like open air like this, it would have been so hard and not that nice to work with at all. But as it is now, it's pretty nice. I mean, this has been in here. This is probably, I don't even know how long. I just keep adding to this box. It's never actually run out before. Just always adding to it. It's like the never-ending palette. And I can travel with this. And I did. I would take this to Bead and Button, and sometimes I would make them custom for people while I was at the show. I had my whole resin kit, and we would make it together. That was back in the day. I was watching the people at Bead and Button, and I was feeling so envious. I wanted to go to Milwaukee so bad, but it just didn't work out for us this year. We had talked about going, but it's so far. And I have this show coming up, you know, that's in like 10 days at my friend's wine bar. So I don't know. Oh, Kim says, just joined tonight and I love this. Thank you. Oh, I see. It says, Lori says, tuning in late. You're such a talented artist. Thank you, Lori. And Facebook user says, it's like meditation when I'm making. I would think so. I think of that as easily as a meditation. When you're making mindfully and with purpose, and sometimes without purpose. Sometimes just letting yourself, you know, sometimes you're not making anything and you're just playing with paint and watching it make patterns. There's a kind of therapeutic quality in that. It's like letting your brain kind of reset. I was looking at this. Azalea was telling me about this word, this phrase that she was talking about called ASMR. And we had to look it up. My friend Star and I were like, I don't know what that means. And so we looked it up. And it was like when something brings happiness by the satisfaction of watching it being done.
Or the sound. Most of the time it's sound.
Like a crunching sound.
Yeah, people on TikTok will have a big microphone and then they'll like tap their nails on it or something, and I guess people like that.
They said it gives them
ASMR
joy.
apparently.
Like the satisfaction of like a satisfying sound. And sometimes I can see that, like when you're cutting a loaf of bread, that's a pretty satisfying sound. To me, at least. I love that sound. Or when you open up a fresh LaCroix, that's a pretty good sound too. Demolding a Jello mold. How's that sound for you? His eyes like, nah. All right, I'm actually getting kind of tired of working on that, so I'm gonna set that aside, and I'll let you guys peek in there. That looks pretty good. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might bake it. I might not. I might do one layer of UV and then try to make floating things around her head. Who knows? But that's the end result, is this. And it's yellowed a little bit. You can see how the resin has kind of yellowed, but it doesn't bug me. Some resins you have to check if it's a resin that will yellow over time. Oh, Terry says, so late. I love the colors on him. Yeah, I do too. I tend to go with those same colors. So I wanted to show you this. It's only going to take me a minute. I'm going to hustle because I know you guys probably want to do something else with your time. All right, I'm going to get this clay out. I'm going to show this fast. I'm going to show you this sugar heart. I call it a sugar heart. And I'm using that term. Right now I'm getting some more clay. I'm going to back out a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm going to get this. This stained my fingers just now. This is all pre-conditioned. This is a really pretty teal. I could use the pasta machine. That would make this, but it's so much faster just to roll it into my fingers. And so you want it like this, nice and smushy. Oh, Terry says, I wanted to ask, you mentioned you have poly clay from various brands. I have every kind of brand, everything in here. From Primo, there's a bowl over here that had it. These are all the different kinds of clear or translucent clays that I've found. This is kind of an opal. We'll use that too. So Primo makes it clear, and it's not really clear. They just call it translucent. Sculpey, Bees clay. And this is the clearest of it, Pardo. And another one in Sculpey. And these are the same, but looking at the different batches, you can see there's a slight variation in color. Sometimes if I didn't have my backup clay, I'll load this. I think if this is my palette, and then I put my backup clay in a Ziploc bag and put it out of light in another container to keep it fresh for as long, so my backup clay is not getting dried out. This is all backup. Yeah, here's another one. This is the translucent, and that's pretty translucent. We'll use that one next. So, yeah, Vicki, I would say. Terry says, any issues with combining them in a project? This is all different brands, and you know what? I don't know that I've ever had an issue. And you know, you'd know right away because it will bubble up. All right, I had a stick over here. What'd I do with it? Where'd that stick go? You see that's, oh, here it is. All right, so I just conditioned that clay. This is so easy. You guys are gonna love this. All right. Put it on there, real nice, real snug. This is going to be your core. So when you're making these, so I'm calling it a sugar heart because it's based on this type of bead that I got pretty recently. It's called a sugar heart agate. Oh, Terry says, awesome. I appreciate sharing your experience with it. I haven't had any problems. It works great. But also, I'm using my oven that is just for this, and so I rarely overbake because I have this dedicated thing and I set the timer and I'm not going and leaving it. Now I've had problems before when I would just put it in the oven and forget about it and leave it. This has automatic shut off, so there's no danger of overdoing it. So this is a nice teal color here. I made the core. I'm going to set it inside of my oven. I'm going to put it on again. For this time, let's see. And I'm going to do maybe another, say, 3 minutes. Now, all I'm doing with this, with that clay, is I'm just getting, and I'll make another one while I'm sitting here waiting for that to come out. This is what I had the other day. So I'll make another color. Maybe I'll do... What color should I do, Azalea? It works better if you have a dark color. So we'll do a dark pink. Azalea likes pink.
That's my favorite pink.
This color pink.
Correct.
So I don't need that much. Might make it hit the volume on that with adding a little of this color. And since this, oh, it's a little crumbly, so I'm going to put this in. I'm going to swing the camera over here. Oh, I don't know if I can do that and do it two-handed. I'm going to condition it in the clay roller and flatten it. Let me see. I can do it. Let's see if I can get in there and do that. Well, let me flip it. All right. I rolled it through a couple of times. Let's see. So I get this color. And I'm going to add that in there. So I'm going to get this. So that's pretty good. So you don't have to bake it real hard and really thorough when you're pre-baking layers to keep it in one, or keep it from moving and getting messed up. I'll do like 3 minutes, but at the end I'll do like 15 or 20 minutes depending. And if you're gonna bake it for a while, you don't have to, it doesn't, if that's at a low temperature, you don't have to keep a super hard eye on it. Okay, I'm going to put this on here. This is a small hole. You see, it's like a taco. You want to pinch out any air. Okay. I bake all these on next because that one has about another minute. Pinch that closed, and we'll do a couple of them. So Anne asked, what temp do you bake it at? A lot of these have a similar temperature. Like this one says 239 for around 30 minutes. And this is the one, Bees Putty is supposed to be like real smooth and real flexible. So I bought a I bought a video series and watched it to see how this one artist was making like these coral creations. I was like, how's she getting those thin strands and not, having, like, how is it so flexible? And apparently it's this. Mine, I don't know. I guess mine was not as, what is the word? Mine basically broke, so I don't know. Woo! So I forgot, for some reason, I'm going to use my skirt to get the handle. Alright, so that was hot. This is baked. Right there. I'm going to give that a second, and I'm going to bake these. They're going in. And if you don't have a bead rack, I couldn't find my bead rack earlier, so I just used 2 tins turned upside down like this. This is my high-tech bead rack right here. With these little aluminum, they're hot. And those are what I made last week, and I just keep baking them. Look, they're fine. That just probably makes, I probably should take that out. I'll take them out for this, because that means they've been baked like 5 times. And when they're hot, they feel like plastic, which I guess they are. Alright, power level. That doesn't need to be on high. Let's go 7. And those are pretty thick. Let's do took time. Let's do another 3 minute. Start. Okay, now this should have had time to cool. Alright, let's see. Oh, Bonnie. Hello, Bonnie. Okay, get that out of the way. Alright, so in that time... Oh, Cindy says, your Sunday lives are so relaxing and brings me joy and peace. It is a great way for me to end my week. I appreciate you sharing your talents and experiences. Thanks, Cindy. That makes me happy. I love hearing that. It always feels nice when someone appreciates something you're doing, especially when I spend a lot of time thinking about what I'm going to do, what I'm going to show everything. Sometimes I don't even do what I say I'm going to do. Come up with something completely different. Hey, hon, would you mind getting me some wet naps? There's a pack, where it's like wet nap. I want to show how you can use that to get, if you have dark color on your hands.
Do you know where you are?
There's a pack in my bathroom. There's a bunch of them. Thank you. All right, so this comes, I like how this Bees Putty comes in a nice container. We'll have a couple of kinds to show, like the best brands. So these are Pardo, and these are the ones I have. I have one more, but I did not like the stuff from Fimo at all. I am not a Fimo person. I know that some people, they're all about it. So one thing you can do is I have these packs of wipes all over my house. And if you're using clay, this is the best way. Just get off any of the dark on your hand. And it seems like there's something in the wipe that actually removes it all. I'm not sure. Maybe alcohol. I'll have to look at the bag and see. But it'll keep your clay from, if you do something dark and you're going to go light, you want to make sure your hands are as clean as you can get them. All right, I have a this one's, I can't get into it. There we go. Come on out of there, you. And it looks kind of like soap. Bonnie says the only kind that worked for me was the Michaels brand. Oh, the Michaels brand of what, Bonnie? What are you talking about? So I'm going to put this. So I just wiped my hands off, but you can see very tiny little fibers. Now, if you wear dark clothes, that's where you're going to get some of that. Don't wear jeans when you're working with polymer if you're doing caning, because those teeny little flecks will get all over your clay project. So I just ran that through the pasta machine. I'm going to tear it like this, and I'm going to keep going. This one is pretty stiff. It's been in that thing for a while. I mean, I got it, I don't know when I got it, but you just run it through until you get the consistency that you like. And if you don't run the stuff through, you're going to get cracks, and that's the unfortunate thing with polymer. It's a convenient and fun material, but sometimes it's a little fickle. Like it's easy to make it look not good. So I ran this through. All right, that's probably like, oh, polymer clay. The only kind that worked for you was the Michaels brand? Huh. Well, I have some Michaels brand. I don't remember which ones were, but I like, my favorite is Primo. That's my favorite. All right, so this one we're going to do bees putty on top of this. All right. Roll that. So you're going to see why I call it a sugar heart. There's an agate that they call sugar heart, and it's like a gray, clearish, like labradorite colored agate, and it has a dark center, kind of like a red heart. Bonnie says, but I like to cook it hard. I like it to cook hard. Oh, well, if you're getting things that are not cooking hard, I would think that maybe you need to mix it before. So give it a good conditioning before you bake it or before you start, and that should help, because sometimes you'll get separation, and what's happening is it's like any epoxy. It's like epoxy putty. If you've ever used epoxy putty, if it comes in an A and B side, and polymer clay is just epoxy putty that's already pre-mixed. So sometimes if they've been sitting on a shelf, they can kind of separate. Like you'll see it'll be kind of a little oily looking on the outside. All right, so this is what I have. All right, so that looks like white, right? Let's take it over. I'm gonna load it in. And I'm going to put that one, power level 70, cook time 3 minutes. Now I'll cook these all much harder when I finish this out. So look how good that one looks. Looks pretty good. I'll let those cool for a second. Tuck that piece back in there. Now let's try out Pardo, and we will see which one is more translucent. Although this one looks really freaking crumbly. Let's try Primo instead for a second, and I'll see about conditioning that. Yeah, sometimes when they're coming right out of the plastic, they need to be conditioned, and this stuff for sure needs to be conditioned. Look, when I ran it through, I got that. So if this is the case, you get this is not fun, but all is not lost. Take one of these bowls. This is from the Asian food store from when I'm making I get Pandam coconut puddings in this from the Asian food store. And then I keep the little containers. They're so good for my beads. Okay, I'm going to run that. So what I'll do with this, if it's like this, is I'll get this all like ground up. Some people have a coffee grinder that's the whole purpose of it. They don't use it for anything else. It's for their polymer. If you get it like, if it's all ground, if it's all dry and it feels like there's no way you're going to ever recover it, do this. Grind it up with your pasta machine or whatever. Chop it up and do a little couple drops of baby oil and then let it sit. And then what will happen is the baby oil will soak in and basically reconstitute it. Now, if you don't have baby oil, you can use Sculpey softener. It's basically mineral oil anyway, so. I'm looking at this, and it doesn't seem like it's doing anything in the oven, but we'll come back to it. All right, hopefully this other Primo is this Sculpey is a little more forgiving than this stuff I just used. But it looks like, ow, getting too aggressive. It's looking like it's really, what's the word? Crumbly. I hate crumbly clay. Oh yeah, the baby oil is pretty good. Sometimes it's a real drag that when you're ready to work, and then you have to finagle your tools so that they work how you intend them to work. All right, that's the oven saying that this is ready. And we'll look at it and see how translucent it is. That was the bees putty we tried out. And it was probably the thickness. Let's see, use my skirt again. Yeah, this is right out. Now I've heard of people using, so how does this look? Huh. Well, so far as translucent, I have to say I'm not like really floored by its translucent quality. You can kind of see a little bit through it, but maybe it has to bake longer. Because the other that I've used was far clearer. Like this does not seem that clear to me. So let's bake it for longer. That was only 3 minutes anyway. And sometimes this brand says 30 minutes. And it might be that you want 30 minutes because it needs to go and cook all through the different layers. So I'm going to put it at, I'm going to try 15. And we'll let that one go and then we'll move these in. Oh, Carla says, hello, I almost missed you. Thank you, Carla, for joining us. All right, here's this. This is a Sculpey Primo brand, opal color. And I'm going to try a thinner layer of this. I'm going to run it through one more time. Terry says, translucent is always so weird. It seems to be more subjective than it should be. You know, clear clays are one of those things, it's kind of bewitching. It's like people just, I saw the other day when I was on Instagram, I saw a clay called, what was it called? Was it crystal clay? Remember we were looking at that?
I think so.
And basically I said, I think that was somebody had resin that like UV resin, and it got thick. And they said, oh, let's not waste it. So, all right, here is this. I'm going to go a thin layer, but this time I think I'll go even thinner because I have a feeling it needs to be super, super thin in order for this to work how I'm imagining it. I want a frosty layer on top. Oh, Vicky, she said the crystal clay is sort of cool. Betsy says, I get weird spots in my translucent. I use Primo. I think they call them moons. I hate that. Oh, yeah. You know what I think that's from? I think that is where, you have a fold, like a fissure in a stone. When you have to like really massage it really well to not get any of that. I used to make, and I still make them occasionally, faux Roman glass beads. Since I love Roman glass, but I despise how fragile it can be, if you know what I'm saying. Like it's, sometimes that stuff is only fit to make earrings. So I'm going to try and make this a super thin layer so it really, you get the full effect. Now I have a little grinding wheel that I bought at Harbor Freight, the hardware store, Harbor Freight. I love going in there. We went in there the other day, and Azalea, she didn't even say anything. And the young man that was at the counter was really chatty, and he managed to somehow find her Instagram and unfollow her. Isn't that strange? Yeah.
I have to say a word, and I already got dudes lining up, I guess.
Yeah, he saw your face. He liked what he saw, so. He liked your energy. Is that something he said? Okay, so that's that one. We're going to poke that in there. Terry says, I want their small wood toolbox. It is so amazing. Candy has one. Ooh, I'll have to see what she has. I miss Candy. I tried to lure her the other day, but then I realized she is going, I don't know if she's still in Paris or what the story is. I didn't check Facebook much over the weekend. I've been busting it trying to get all those paintings ready to go because I leave in I don't know how many, was it 8 days, 10 days, something around there. I'm trying not to be all panicky about it because, that's not good. You don't want to make art panicky. So I like that shape. So anyway, about Harbor Freight, they have a buffing wheel that's like this wide. It's so cute. And it is the best thing. Don't even bother using glazes and stuff. That's I don't know. That's not good. It's nowhere near as good as when you just go ahead and use the buffing wheel. Maybe Azalea, I can go get her to get it so then we can hook it up and I can show you guys. You'll love it. The buffing wheel, that little yellow one downstairs. It just has buffing cotton cloths.
I don't know which one it is. You're going to have to ask Dad.
She is in Paris for the month of June, Laura says. For the month of June. My friend Laura would say, what are you doing for the month of May? That was good times. Alright, so this is this one. The bees putty's still in the oven. Let's see. Oh, and this Primo, boy, it got dry. That's what that is. So we're going to switch over to... Oh, this one might be clear. That's not as hard and needs to be softened up. We can try the Pardo. I think the Pardo is the clearest, but like this one says, no microwave. Obviously, never microwave it. Oh, and this is also made in Germany. What do you know? All these fancy highfalutin clays, kind of expensive, so I don't get the other colors. I just get this color and mix any color that I need to make, because it's whereas most Primo and Sculpey on the high end is about $3, this stuff's like $5. Same with this. This is pretty expensive. It was like $8, maybe even more. Nancy says she is taking a month-long Paris vacay. Oh, I would love that. I haven't been to Paris in many years, and when I went, I got an Airbnb, and it was during the rainy season when I went. But I figured I'm going to be going into the inside anyway. Why do I need to have it? I don't need to be going in the height of summer. So this Pardo, it is dry as a bone. So dry. I didn't notice how dry, but it's real dry. Look at that business. I don't know if I have the patience to mix that. Let me get another. You know what I might do? Look, I'm going to do that. Nothing's going to happen. I'm just going to mix Pardo and clear or Sculpey translucent. Oh, I did see. Sharon says, yep, Candy's taking classes and shopping. I saw her taking a crepes class. That's nice. That's good. Crepes, I love them. My sister makes really good crepes. I don't know where she learned it. Okay, I'm going to stick this one in there and put it in with the other. I wanted to cover this one. Maybe I'll use one of these that's in there. That's a clear. Ugh. You know, all the other clays, I have all these other colors, but none of them are so finicky as the clears. Or when I say clear, I mean translucent. You guys know that. This one seems like it's not as, it's got that ugly spot. I'm going to try this one and see. What's Vicky say? Vicky says, oh, what does she say? I'm inspired by you to get my poly out tomorrow instead of clean my house. Hey, if I can get out of cleaning the house, I'm not going to do it. I always clean the house.
That's Bonnie that said that.
Bonnie? The kids are always like, why do we have to clean the house? I'm always making them clean the house.
I don't mind cleaning so much. Max doesn't want to do it.
No. I don't want to do it, but I like my house to not. I don't like to feel the deep shame.
The deep shame.
When someone comes over and my place is a wreck, I hate that feeling. Well, this clay is also too crumbly to use. All that. And I just bought the one. This one. Well, no, I didn't. I thought I bought clear. Well, I keep calling it clear. It's not clear at all. None of them are clear. Okay, I'm going to get this one out. I'm going to check on it. Okay, so this one went in for, I don't know how many minutes. 7 minutes left. I put it in. So it's only been for 7 minutes. And it's still kind of soft as I'm feeling it. But it doesn't look like it's getting any clearer. I put it in there again. I'm going to get this one and put it in. So far, these putty translucent is not blowing my doors off as far as translucency. But this one is pretty good. Okay, I'm going to move all this stuff over. And then we will go to the portion of the day that everyone likes, I think. Moving all this. My tray, I keep everything in trays, baker's trays, and I use the baker tray to, well, shoot. Just dumped that. So I use the baker trays because then I can take this whole tray and then stack it on my project shelf. I have a rack in my studio that is separated by about this much, maybe 4 or 5 inches. And then I can take the whole tray, just like this, and move it out of the way. Alright, I'm going to show you guys what I've been making all week. Oh, Bonnie says this is my favorite portion. I was going to ask, which is your favorite portion? Do you guys like the tutorial time the best? Or what? You like the live sale? Wipe that down. Alright, here are some things I've been making, y'all. This is a little sea dragon. Oh, Carlos says I got a chance to go to Paris in my freshman year in college because my father had been in Paris during World War II. He absolutely forbid it. My daughter's been. Oh, yeah, sometimes you gotta, that's like my mom with, like, Japan. She had, like, a grudge against Japan, So that is a sea dragon in a shell. Oh, I made a necklace. Let me go get this necklace. I'll show you guys. So I don't think I showed this necklace. Did I show this necklace?
Maybe. Is that a new one?
I made this a couple days ago, so I don't know. So I made this.
Oh, a couple days ago. Like actually a couple days ago, or like a couple of weeks ago?
No, I strung it on the plane.
Oh, well then people probably haven't seen it yet.
Well, anyway, here's the necklace I was making. And when I was making it, I was like, I could use something this shape. So I started making this. So if you can picture it, I wanted something to balance this shape. And so that it would fit like right in here. And then I thought this would make a good shape. So I wanted to make something that would fit that. So now you guys see how I design things, what I want to exist. So I want that to be there. And then if it flips, you get a shell. Karen says, I was in France in the early to mid 80s, was there for 6 weeks. Many French don't care much for Americans. Karen, you are telling the truth. You are for sure telling the truth. I have more stories of the French being kind of, not snooty, but, people always say snooty, but they just didn't have time for the American shenanigans. Okay, so then this is a thing. I don't know where I was going with that, but I really wanted to make something with holes right here so I could dingle-dangle crystals. Karen says rude. Well, I mean, sometimes, when you're not from a culture, it can be hard to adapt, I guess, and expect, essentially I'm from the South, if you think about it. I was raised by people that had those sort of Southern ideas. And, sometimes it's hard to let your own culture, I want to judge through my lens, and it's easy to do that. So sometimes it's better to just relax it and go along with and see what happens and just say, it's just a different culture. It is kind of like coral. I was thinking about either making it branch, like making the texture more branched out, but I wanted an earring. I don't know if that works there, but I think more of an earring type shape would work best. And then look at this business. Okay, so this is, you can see where my brain was going. These are sea anemones. I don't know if you can tell that, but they're not done. And this is the side when they're closed, and then here they are when they're open. And then look at this, a fish. So you can choose your own adventure. You want it to go on the closed side? You could do that. Or, this side. So many. Sharon says, our experience was different. The French were kind and the Italians in Italy were mean. My mother's full Italian, so I can say it, LOL. Well, I know. I think it's how and who you meet, right? Who do you meet when you're out there? Sometimes, like I went into the Sonlier art supply store across the street from the Louvre, and it's like an ancient art supply store. I almost died when I was in there. It was so beautiful. So beautiful. And I had my little dictionary out, and the gal that was behind the counter, she was like my mom's age, and we did not understand anything. But through the power of using a sketchbook, I could communicate. So I drew everything in a little book. And so it worked out. Oh, Colite says, I love to see what you're making. Thank you. So this is a clasp. I've been on fire making these treasure necklaces and getting out all my fancy beads because there's something about this format. I've just been really into that prayer style of necklace. And in this one, I did this, how I like to color shift? I color shift through here. What I did on that. It's so fun. All right, let me take a peek. You just heard that. Marty. He's taking up 2 seats over here. You guys, look at this. Look at my boy. That's my son. My son! He's taking up 2. Look how he has to do himself. My boy. Yeah, well that looks good. Can't resist. I'm gonna show you guys. It's hot. Real hot. So look at how cool that looks on top of there. So this is what I was talking about with a sugar heart bead. So if you have a dark core, this is opal clay. Oh, thank you, Mary. Sharon says, do you knot with a T-pin? No, Sharon. No, I do not. I don't like knotting with that. So in one of my videos, actually I showed it. I feel like I've shown it a few times. So I'm going to coat this one with some of this. But see how I'll have these going. I keep baking them. That doesn't hurt it. It's not, all it'll do is make it, harder. As this cools, it'll get harder. Jermaine says, Marty is so regal. Oh, Mary says, you have handsome kitties. Thank you. So look at this. Looks good. So when this cools, now you can picture it. I'm going to buff this on my buffing wheel. And look how pretty that'll, well, probably not there. If I match it up right in this zone. Yeah, this will look even better. Hey Max, can you ask your dad to bring up that little buffing wheel for polymer? Okay, so those are the pieces I've been working on. Now let's get to the good part. Hey, can you bring up that little buffing wheel that we were using for polymer clay? You know, I had that shoebox behind it and we were buffing all the clay beads.
Okay.
I want to show how that works. You can even make this cruddy one right here. It's just
an
a...
hour and a half.
Oh my Lord, have
We need
mercy.
to do the lot sale, you know?
Oh gosh, I'm like a talkaholic. All right. Okay, get in here, daughter. We will buff. I'm gonna clear the path again. Oh, except Gregor's already back with the grinding, the buffing wheel.
I guess you could do something real quick before we do the lot sale, so we don't have to go back and forth.
So we don't have to go back and forth. All right, listen, y'all, don't look too carefully at this. It's super duper nasty. I'm gonna back out a little bit. Okay, usually I put a shoebox behind this. Okay, hopefully that doesn't get in the way of that. Okay, I got this on here, spinning. I'm gonna brace it. Usually, this is still a little warm. It's so much easier to do when you have it on a stick like this. Let me turn it up a little higher. Oh, okay, we don't need to go that high.
Super powerful wheel.
Okay, let's even try this one here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. It's a little warm still, so what do you guys think? Look pretty good. I think it actually, see, it made it a little bit shinier. So you could easily, I'll probably bake that again. Take that and give it a little more, because it's only gone for 7 minutes in there. But it did get shiny. You'll see it better on this one. This will show it. This one is hard to see the shiny parts, but let's see. You'll see it this way. So this is just a cotton buffing wheel. And the faster it goes, the more, you know, obviously it's going to make it more shiny, you know. And this is a kind of, this is the type of shine that's not going to be like, it's not going to come off, because you're actually compressing the clay down. Now this one, now you can see that? How that, now it's like nice and shiny. That's the clay. Oh, Nancy says, do you wear a mask? Well, you know what? This isn't making a lot of dust. It's not making, it just, I'm just polishing the top. Nothing is being removed. So if you look at it, there's no dust on my hands. All it's doing is just polishing this. And you can get the same effect if you were to use...
Let me feel it. Nice.
So, yeah. June says, do you need to put a polishing compound ever? You know, I haven't tried it. I haven't tried it at all. Like, that's pretty shiny, I think. I mean, you know. Now, if you use, say, a piece of denim twill, like here's the edge of my skirt, you can keep going like this and get it even more. If you're like a compulsive apple polisher, keep going.
The compulsive apple polisher.
All right.
We got to get to this last set.
Okay, now
It's
we
already
hit...
going on over an hour and a half.
All right.
It's time.
Okay, you can unplug this now, and we can move it out of the way. And I'm going to continue baking that. Oh, so here's this. You can kind of see from that one clay. I think once I bake it down, it'll get a little more translucent. But the key with this that I'm seeing is that you have to have it in a very, very thin layer. Very, very thin. Oh, Ann says, how do you get it off the stick? Twist. Here, I'll show you. Just like that. And then see how the holes are like that? You could just put a little wet and dry sandpaper.
Does it matter if that stick is metal or wood? I feel like the metal it would slide off of easier, and the wood it might cling to a little bit more.
So this is steel. You can get different sizes. The one at the local craft store has like, it's like a pin. It's a very small. It comes in little kits like this. And there's a rack of like, so you can rack up if you're making a bunch of beads. But we take this kit to Florida, and my mom loves making these polymer beads. So it's a good way to keep everybody distracted from talking about, you know, stuff nobody wants to talk about. All right. Oh, and then before I forget, look at how good these came out. Greg has them. He's casting them now. So this is for if you're waiting on the porcelain berry turkey tail kit. Carla's like, I think Harbor Freight is closed now because it's Sunday. Doggone it. Or Nancy says, use double-pointed knitting needles. There you go. But this is we painted these the other day with a bunch of different colors of spray paint. And we did like airy different, I don't know what that is. But that's what we're packaging it all up. The beads are counting. We just have to add the turkey tails. Okay, Zell, let's do it. Pass the one. Azalea. Now I kind of want to sit here and do this part.
No, it's already been 90 minutes.
Okay, sorry. Pass it.
You can pick any one of them to start. Doesn't really matter.
Oh, all right. Okay, so the first item is a shibuichi. Let's get in here tight.
We're going in. We delved deep into some of our other stock that people didn't see that have tags. You can see that this one is a lot. Let's see it. This
We
one
made a
is
bunch of
lot
extras.
148. So this was kind of a while ago because we're going on lot 350 something now. So this was lot 148.
Mary, I know you can't wait. A lot of people can't wait. It's good to have that excitement. And I think you guys are going to be happy. When I looked at the beads after getting each one counted up, it looked so good. I was like, man, you guys are going to be thrilled to work with it. I had fun. Half of this kit here is that kit. That color is in there. That's in there. That's in there. This for sure is in there. This is too. So there's a lot of the same ones in. That's what I use, is like that. Keep it real. All right, this is lot 148. $32. She's shibuichi. She's detailed all the way around. Look at that.
Nice and shiny.
Nice and shiny.
Shibuichi is a copper and silver alloy.
Yep. It was first developed in ancient Japan for the hilt of a katana. I can't remember the name of that piece.
It's a hilt.
Yeah, but there's a Japanese word for it. But you can see her little face is detailed. She's got little scales, and her hair a little loop. See that? That's how you hang it.
She's got several different places that you could hang it or link it.
Yeah, you could do it like that. You could do it like this. But it still balances if you were to hold it there. So here's how it goes, y'all. If you like something, you can just say 148. And then we'll write your name down. And then Azalea will send you a message.
Or I'll just send you an invoice.
If your thing says Facebook user, then put your name. So that's how you do it, okay? And if you're watching this on replay, you can go to our email, one of the emails there, and you can say, hey, is lot 148 available? And then we'll let you know. So that's the Shibuichi Mermaid, $32. Okay, we'll put that one aside. Okay, let's see what else. I have these. These are all probably, how big would you say? It's probably like 6 millimeter. These are the carved rubies. Let's see.
As our backstop.
I made
See,
a
look
few.
how early on that is. Lot 46. That was a while ago. I'm surprised we still had those.
Well, sometimes it depends on who's watching and if they see it in time. So these are hand-carved rubies. These are not dyed. These are beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, 3x6. Yeah, it seems like that. I think I only have the one, though, you guys. There's only one of this. I'm getting down to the last of that. I had a really big strand that I bought. And that was the
We'll
last
use
of
the
it.
silver next. One of these silver pieces. This is one of our fresh ones from today.
Okay,
The
this is
one that
one
I
that
put up.
Azalea made. This is sterling, lot 354.
That sterling rose. It says love on the back.
Yeah, it's a good thickness too. Heavy piece of silver. Very sturdy. Very beautiful, I would say. Love it. And it says love. Lot 354. Okay, let's move in. Here's a glass bead. My friend Andrew Brown made this.
Oh, no, I didn't do the wax carving for it. I just built the tree. I pressed the molds and built the tree.
Okay, so this is 45 for an Andrew Brown bead. Let me see. It might have his signature. Oh, no, Brian Kitson, I mean. What did I just say?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was writing this.
And that's basically what I paid for it. So you guys are getting it exactly the same. I didn't use it, but if no one buys it, then I'll put it in one of my necklaces.
Yeah, it would look good on one of these.
Yeah, it would for sure, easily. I know. Look at that. It's like a great masher. As far as it could work right in there. Wouldn't that be pretty? Yeah. So that's lot 61. If anybody's interested.
Those handmade glass beads.
Yep. Oh, let's move on to this. Yes. Several people have asked about this. If I ever made it in silver. Now there's this one. How many of these are there? Is there only one?
I think I only put one on the tree, but we could make more.
It does look like a dragon's egg. Mary, there's only one of this silver bead. It has a good wide hole for stringing, and it's detailed on the back. Detailed on the front. Many people have been asking me for this bead. There might be a couple more in there.
I can make more, press more wax.
Azalea's getting good. She's a natural, you guys. A natural. She made that tree in no time.
Hope so. This is going to be my business someday. So
Okay, this is a silver rose.
That rose link I love. I'm expecting that one to be very popular because that's sterling silver and like the way the tops of the petals are buffed and then it has, I don't know, it just looks so
Oh, actually, this is not the rose. This is a succulent.
That's the rose.
357. No, this is a
That's how it is on the website. That's how it's always been, is the rose link.
Well,
That's what it says.
okay.
Well, I'm just saying that's.
I have a
how it
different
is.
one for a rose.
All right.
Okay,
a bunch
that's
of people are. Wait, just hold on to this one for just a second.
okay. So
I have
Azalea's
to write
gonna
down
write
the
it
names.
down.
Y'all just gonna have to hold on.
So if we don't have it, if you want to wait about, I don't know, 7 or 8 days, because it takes a minute to, you have to clean the wax up, push the wax out, clean it up. That
Sometimes
means
they don't come out. You have to press it
keep
over and over
pushing
again
it over
to
and
get
over.
a perfect. I'm scrolling it. I'm scrolling it. Just
Yeah,
let me do it.
Azalea was trying to get a bunch of frogs because there were a bunch of people on Instagram that were like, I want a silver frog just for my pocket. So a couple nights ago, we were down there trying to get that mold to come out, and
I was pressing it
It
over
was
and over again,
not
and it was
happening.
either coming out. It either would not go in the hole, or it would not. It would come out with air bubbles, and that can happen sometimes. If it comes out with air bubbles, and you can't cast it, or else it might like implode or some
it
business.
does not look good.
Yeah, it's no good. All right, let's see. I think that's it. You can keep showing now.
All right.
Got everybody.
Okay, let's go to. Oh, so a couple people asked out there if there's any Tahitian pearls. I have this one. A couple more left.
We have one more on this tray today.
We have a couple. If you've been thinking about it, here's one that's really beautiful. They're so
Got the
special.
nubs.
These are legit Tahitian pearls. I bought them in Tucson. I bought one strand. Oh, let's see. Pre-pandemic, about 5 years before pandemic time. And I got a good price on them. Usually, if you've ever seen people price these, they are a lot more. But, yeah, I'm not doing that. So anyway, I think they're beautiful, so.
We have one more pearl. Let's show that one.
Okay. Yeah, this is a really sweet one. It has a little potato shape. I love it.
These Tahitian pearls, I've noticed, they have a kind of pinkish sheen in some spots. If you look at them closely.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, they're made in an oyster. How magical is that? Like, this is a thing that was, grown out of being in the sea. Like, how is that possible? And look how they drilled it. Isn't that funny?
Right out the nub.
I know, I love it. All right, let's see. She's passing me another one. All right, here's another one that
I
she
like that
cast.
one.
Has
It's
an
the
iris.
wisdom iris.
The fleur de lis.
Sterling silver.
Yep, nice
We
thick.
never have that one in silver.
Never.
We have that one. We've had it in bronze in the past, but I've never listed that in silver. It's
Hmm.
not on the website. None of these things here are on the website.
Yeah, well, it's hard to keep, sometimes you just can't make what, I don't know. It's hard to keep everything. It's impossible to keep everything. You need like 10 people working here, and we can barely ever find like one person. If you guys didn't know, it's actually really difficult to get people to learn how to do wax work and fine detail work. It's really hard. Okay, so this is on my necklace. I love this piece, this little Nixie. And it's a heavy piece of silver. So if you're like looking at that price, it's pretty heavy. We have only made these in bronze, so it's pretty nice in silver. I like it. She has a little bit more detail. You can see more of it. It comes out, like the little veins in her little arm flaps, you can see. Okay.
Don't scroll yet. Not ready for the scrolling yet.
Okay.
I have to take down everybody's names. My pen is dying, bro.
Here, use this one.
That's
No, that's a good pen. Did you get it?
not yet. I'm not done yet. Alright, so we have the one iris pendant that's available right now, but if you're also, like if you're going in there and you're also commenting, if you're at the bottom of this list, you can see on the comments of wanting this lot
She can't.
$355.
They can't see.
Some of them can. Some of them are the same one. Like on our page and our group, we have most of our people.
Oh, really?
Correct. So if you're among many comments and you guys are for the iris pendant, you guys might have to wait a little longer because I have to make more. Okay, just give me a second. Wait, don't. I'm not ready yet.
Oh, I was
It's
trying to
taking-
read that other comment.
Don't read it yet. It's not ready.
When
I've
I'm
got
busy,
so many different numbers to write down names. All right.
Vicky says, I'd love to do waxwork, not great at sculpting. Well, sculpting takes
Waxwork
practice.
Sculpting. 'Cause you have to heat up the thing first. and
Okay,
it's
let's
kind
go
of
to
hard, 'cause
another
if you heat up
glass
the-
bead.
If you
Anybody
heat up the
wants
tool
this
too
one?
hard and you go to it, it might melt off your details that you've done. So you have to be careful. It's a
Carlos says, I'm 2.5 hours away. I'd love to take a class. Okay, I'll work that out. And Cindy says, I can wait for the iris. So this is another bead. I'm not sure. So this is
Well,
one.
Mary was really quick with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to talk about it, and she's already in there.
Mm-hmm. This is a good one, and you can picture it. It's really pretty. Well, I've had people ask me about doing classes, and for the most part, I just like carving with people, and some of my friends will come over and we'll just sit and carve together all day long, and it's a lot of fun. So this, I don't know how many I have. One. So it's $16. She's also detailed. Oh, thanks, Bonnie. She says, I love the glass bead I bought from you. That's when, you know what, when glass beads was all the rage. It was all the rage at one point, and everybody was making glass beads. I don't know if you guys remember that. But you couldn't swing a bat without hitting a glass bead maker. Everybody and their brother was making beads, and it was a good time. It was a really good time. Okay, here's a little bundle of this and that.
We haven't had the bundles in a while.
Yeah, this is from old times. We haven't done this in ages. So this has a little bitty mandrake baby, a teeny. This is old Thai silver. I don't know. I got that, man, when I was first starting out. You guys remember, what's his name? It's a Jerry Singaraji. Remember Jerry? So that's from that. And then, oh, look, I put one of these on there. That's a silver eye button. So that's a good little mix, a little mix and match for 20 bucks. It's $237. Oh, it's already gone. Anne wants that. There's a couple people that want that. I don't know.
Here's the next bundle.
Here's one more bundle.
I think that's one more bundle. Yeah.
This one's 24. It has another one of those old school ties. Probably looks like a lion. This is Hill Tribe from the Karen Hill Tribe. That's one of my favorites, you guys. I don't know why, but I made crochet necklaces and put that in the center.
Whoa.
Wendy, this is the price. This is the lot. 242. The Lily of the Valley. Okay, so I only have the one. I can't make any more of this because that's it. Because I can't get this part. That's it. It's old.
All right, let's show this one next. This one's kind of older, but that one was very popular when we first showed it.
Okay, so this is, we don't have two. Oh, thanks, Ann. I'll make more of them. So this is a good one. We sold out. I think people didn't realize I have one sitting there. I should have put it on Instagram because it was sold immediately, but I didn't think of it.
A silver moon.
A silver moon. Look how good that looks. Nice and thick. Look at that. I don't know how thick that is. Probably 2 to 3 millimeter at the highest point. Nice and thick. Oh, Bonnie, you have one of those. Kathy, she says 156. Did you get that? Perfect. Oh, I didn't do any of these coins. We're gonna do
the coins last.
We'll do the coins
Do
last.
This one next.
Another one from Brian.
That's the last bead.
This is the last of them. So this has a little chunk of opal in there. It's a really pretty color. It looks like agate. I don't really mind if I don't sell it.
It looks
I like it.
It has a.
I might put it in my
vibe
next.
center.
I'll probably put it in one of my treasure necklaces. That's what's destined for my collection. I'm going to start using them. Okay. Did you get that, Azalea, Cindy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, do this one. I don't think we showed that one yet. That one's going to be popular, I think.
How many of this do we have?
I put a couple on the tree, but I can make more.
Okay, so this one is...
That's that filigree pomegranate. I like that one a lot.
I
lot
think...
2... No, lot 3,
so I made this for my friend Jess. You guys know Jess. And I guess that's I don't know. I don't know how that ended up in there. But she doesn't really get these anymore. I don't even think she has this made. This is old. This is from like 15 years ago when we did Gaston Collective. So I don't know that. I don't think she'd mind because I haven't seen her make that in years. So
yeah, that's not really fair otherwise.
yeah, I
We have
waited.
a
I mean,
good
it's been
design and
it's been 15 years. So
then that warranty's out, bro. All right.
so if you're interested, yeah, I don't think she'd mind.
No.
If she were actively making it, I would not do it. But since she hasn't made it in several, I don't know, when was the last
So that
time I
means
saw her?
this is limited, you guys. You can't.
So it
get
is
this,
limited.
You can't
If she
even get
starts
this
up-
computer on the website.
Yeah, if she starts up again and tells me, then I will stop.
Well, this is a limited run. She won't
It is.
even know.
She didn't
She doesn't
care.
watch our lives. She won't even know that it happened.
Well, that's not really the point. The point is that she doesn't really use it or make it. That was from, over 15 years. So this, okay, so we have here 2 blueberry sweet little sapphires. Look at that. And listen, folks, I even did the price where, sometimes you go to the traders and they're like $3 a carat or $3 a gram, $3 a gram. This one, true pure sapphires. Seriously. Let me put my optivisors so I can see that a little closer. $27. It's good. I bought the strand. I don't want to tell you how much I spent for that strand. You guys would look at me with the big side eye. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to do it. That's how it is, when you're like, you go to the show, you go with your friends, and then suddenly you're like, oh my God, I can't get that strand.
You can show the opals, and then we can do that. We can do the coins.
So this is, you guys, this is the strand that we talked about before. And it was $258 or however much. So I broke it up for the whole strand. So I went through the rigmarole of dividing them and matching the graduated sizes so that they would fit.
Yeah, she was hunched over that stuff with her optivisors on for like 30 minutes, you guys.
30 minutes? That was longer than 30 minutes.
Well,
let's just spread them out. Let's spread them out so people can see. Some of these, are they all the same? 52? We weighed them up, and I tried to balance them out so they weighed. So this was that entire strand, and we broke it into Would you say 5? Is it 5?
There's
There should be 5.
yeah, there's 5 sitting here.
So I have
We have 5 of those.
we have 5, and
We
that's
might
it.
have more later, maybe. But
I don't know.
there's-
I'd have to check my stock on what I have. There's
to check
not
if you
a
feel
lot.
generous with it.
Sometimes I hoard these, folks, and you can see why. These are well drilled. This is what did I put this on? I don't remember the kind of soft flex this is on, but they're all really good. So there's only 5, and that's that one strand. We just broke them up. But look how juicy. I would just string it like this. I don't know that I would knot this. This would look good in this style. Where's that necklace I made? If you did a chain, a fine chain, here's how I use these sparingly. I'll show you exactly how I use them. So I do mini wraps, right? See that? That's in focus. And I'll sprinkle them through. So I'll get a lot of use out of, I'll have some expensive beads, but if you put them where you have a little bit of chain or something, dividing it up, you can take it and make some special beads. Like this is not an expensive bead, but it's really pretty. And I put that towards the back, right? So when you put them in there, you can sprinkle it through, and it's not like so painful to put, like, you know, when you have a strand and you spend like $50 on it, you want to make that last. I think this is a pretty good, like, it's a lot of good bang for your buck. Like,
you don't even have to work on selling it anymore. They're gone.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying how you would use it.
Oh, yeah.
Like how that I would use it. I wouldn't even put, like, this has a ruby on there, little green tourmalines. So really when you count up the beads, it's actually not that many, but you know, you just get a little, it looks rich. Jermaine says, let's see. Carl says, remind me I have blueberries in the fridge. I haven't made my daughter a necklace from the ones I bought. Probably Christmas. Yeah, well, I mean, you can do that easily. People like it. So those are gone. All we have left are these coins. So this, how much did you price these at, Azalea? We say 16 on that?
16 for all of
All right, so we're gonna do these fast because we're gonna try and get this show on the
do the
road,
giveaway,
and we have to
guys.
do giveaway. So these guys came out like half size. All right, so we have them listed here. I'll do one at a time. Oh, Terry says, sigh, cutting strands is so painful, but why have them if you don't use them?
Correct.
Listen, Terry, you're speaking to the choir. I am so guilty of this that I will keep them for years and years before I separate them from myself. All right, so this one, it's a little bitty frog. Let's see if I wish I could get in there tighter. So a little frog, salamander, and a little face, and a teeny little snail. Oh, this one's not marked. Is it the same as this one? Oh, C14. $16. I have 2 of them.
And the lot number, keep this one flipped and show
Oh.
the other one. So this time, the C stands for coins, so we don't get them confused with our other lots. The other ones we can continue on at 352 or whatever, but this one is C14. And
So-
we have 2 of them.
All right, so okay, they're both gone.
Okay.
All
Give me a
right.
second before you show the next one.
Those came out extra small, and I usually have them on my website for about 24 because they come out a lot bigger. So these just came out, it was all the same amount of work, but yeah.
All right. Next
All right.
bundle.
Okay. Oh, this is the same.
Oh, so I guess we have no,
that's
this
3.
one.
That's
so
part
we
of
have
that.
we have one more of these. Let's see if anybody else wanted this.
Yeah,
Okay,
there was a
wait,
couple
just
people
wait,
that
wait,
wanted
wait.
it.
Gotta see who the first person was. All right, just hold on. This is the last one of that, and that's Donna. Don't show the next one yet.
Okay.
I'm gotta catch up. Catch up. All right, so that one, the 3 of these C14. These are all gone. Next, this one is
And these are all $16. That's
all
about
of them are 16.
40% off of what I usually charge. So this is a brief flash little mini sale on this.
But
They're not going to be around to go to the website.
They're
so.
discounted because they're a little smaller. So
They're much smaller.
So know that now that they're a little smaller than our usual size. I think that's the only one we have of C13. Pretty sure.
This one
Otherwise,
has a
they'd be
little bitty
grouped
turtle.
together. Yeah, that's the same
bat.
shape as the other one.
and an owl, and then at the very bottom there's a teeny little stag beetle. They came out perfectly. They just came out in like miniature. Pretty cute. And I can't make them like this because of the clay that I was using, the bronze clay. I never order that anymore. All right, I got one of these. It's wee small. It's usually like this. There's a lot more to it. So this is C11. There's two. It's
That's
the witch.
The witch and fox.
They have a little bit different finish.
Keep one flipped.
Okay, C11. It's very small. It's 16.
Yeah, you
if you
can
want
show
it.
it in the palm of your hand too.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Now it's in focus.
There's a teeny little owl. She has a little house back there and a little fox friend, and then she's like in a little cape.
That's funny. Carla says, I recently told my best friend where the good stuff is stashed in case something happens to me. That's me and my friend Lily. I tell her, if something happened to me, Lily, you can have some of my craft supplies that I collected. You can have my little horses that I made.
Yes, Vicky, it is bronze. Okay, I've got one of this. This came out half the size. $16. Get ready. C12. Fastest person gets it. C12. This is usually quite a bit larger. C12. Look at all that.
That wise tiger.
The wise tiger. Oh, Mary.
Mary.
Mary's got it.
Mary
was the first one.
Start writing your lot numbers on a separate page. The list is getting long, Mary.
Laura wants your sewing machine. What kind of sewing machine is it, Mary?
That's Carla.
Oh, Carla. Sorry, I read that wrong. All right. I got one of these. Look how wee small it came out. They shrunk so tiny. Because usually they're like this, if you guys can remember. They're a lot bigger.
That's that,
C10.
That's the Mandrake woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she came out good. There's only one of this, I believe.
Yeah.
They're usually like, I don't know, they're just bigger. Oh, see, Julie would like it. Oh, no. Let's see. There's a bunch of people, actually. I didn't notice it. I was busy looking at it, and then I didn't even notice that there's some came in. Okay, I've got, let me see, how many of these do I have? Couple. I have two of this size. Look at Forest Spirit. Now this is Cernunnos, Lord of the Forest.
I love that.
Yeah.
You drew it. So I did not know that was supposed to be Cernunnos because Cernunnos is like the shape of, in the Celtic culture, he's like a man. He's like a
but we'll say I made mine ladylike.
You made it a deer with a human face. It's definitely way weirder than the original style.
Well, they carved it.
Definitely weird. Which one is that? C9?
C9. Donna looks like she got one.
There's one gone.
Okay. Okay, that looks good. Looks like they're both gone now, Azalea.
I know. All right.
And if you guys want to see something super cute, look at how small this one came out.
That one's almost perfect. It's just small.
It came out wee.
Wee.
So small.
What lot number?
Oh.
C7.
C7.
Some of these are kind of skipping around a little bit, but that's okay. Let's see. I'll show that one next.
Okay, if you're wanting that one. Oh, somebody wants that one. Cindy wants that one. Okay, here's a teeny extra cute unicorn. I wanted to say mermaid. I don't know why. My mouth just wanted to say that, but that's a unicorn in there.
Wanted to say that. Which one is that? Lot C8?
C8. A teeny cute.
That's almost the size of the original.
Almost.
That one did not shrink that much.
This one didn't shrink too much, but it is a lot smaller than the other one. But, so we just wanted to do that special. You know, sometimes people ask us for small, but you can't control it. I like them to be a certain size for the price. This one's usually much larger, and also I probably don't even have this on the website.
Yeah, Suzanne got that lot 8. Lot C8.
C6. This is that little root baby. He's the little fatty of the group. This one has, if you look close, that mushroom has eyes.
He has teeth.
And he has teeny itty bitty little teeth. It's so cute. They came out really detailed and really small. C6.
Gone.
Oh, and then here, look at this one. This is a little botanical creature.
I think we might have more than one of those. Flip them over. You have C5. This is all the same thing. Hold on, let me see.
No.
That's the next one. Alright, those are all different, so we only have one of these.
So there's only one.
That
yeah,
is
he's only C5. Yeah, that came out so cute. So cute. Okay, what's next, little daughter?
This one.
Okay, I think, is there one of that or two of it? Just
One.
okay, so this one, this is a little bit smaller, not hugely.
Which one is that?
This is the, I like to think of this one,
the city.
the
That is
Lost
C-
City.
C3.
I made this to look like, I have an antique coin, and by antique I think it's like Roman Empire, and it has a little itty bitty temple on it, and it's the cutest thing. It's like this part of it. That's what that's like, my coin. And I like to fantasize that I found it in the desert. Okay.
Show, this is the next one. That's C4.
Okay,
And
so
we
there's a
have
few
four
of these.
those.
Okay, so there are 4 of this little dodo bird. And if you look very closely, you can see that this one has, let me see, you can see it better on this one. There's a little ship back there for C4. Yeah. You can see his little ship and little teeny plants. They're so little. Very hard to see that with this. Okay, there's only like 3 left. Did we already do
Okay,
all
just
of?
wait 1 second. June. That moments of silence is me very
Counting.
quickly writing down these numbers.
Okay, I only
and
have
names.
1 of this. There's only 1. This one is like the original, and when you go get it on the website is like this much more. It's a way bigger piece. C2. If you want it, there's 1 of this tiny one. Usually a little bit bigger. Actually, it's a lot bigger. C2. Oh, a lot of people said that. We only have 1 though.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
The first person I see is Julie Liston. She got the fastest Wi-Fi I've ever seen.
Okay, next we have 2 of this. And this is the Practical Magic House.
I love that one. That one is extremely popular on the website. We have to make a bunch of those.
Yeah, this one's a little harder to see. You'd need to, I'd have to get
Needs to
it.
be polished.
It needs to be polished so you can
But
see it.
It's pressed
The
nicely.
detail. But this one is, flip it and let's see.
This is C1. This is our
C1.
last lot of the evening.
Okay,
Except
so
I have a
that's,
couple things to show afterwards. C1, and we've got 2 of them.
no, we have 2.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh.
Lot number C1, quantity 2.
All right. That was pretty good, pretty fast. We
All right,
did that.
the last thing, I think these 2 lots, that's 150.
I think that's the one that's sold
one's
already.
sold. These 2, I believe,
Are the only things that we're not.
these are the only 2 lots from tonight that did not go, and I wanted to give everybody a chance because we showed these early on. There might be new viewers that might be
Yeah,
interested.
it's
This
true.
is this is sterling silver. Oh, scoot that down a little bit. This is Shibu mermaid, and then sterling merboy creature.
Oh, I thought.
Oh,
Yeah, what are
Never
you
mind.
doing? It's already done.
never mind.
That's
I
already
believe
someone picked it.
148. I'm pretty positive did not go. So I guess this is the only one.
Somebody else was
Yeah,
asking. I
Kathy.
didn't see. Oh, Kathy was
you go.
interested. There you go. So
Gone.
that, and then this is one that there's 1 left, I believe. Right? One
Yeah,
s-
I
of
believe
C1.
C1. There's
If
one
anybody,
left.
I'm not going to put that on the internet. The mini of the Practical Magic House. I'm sure that'll be during the if anyone sees it in the replay. There's just this one thing left. All right.
All right.
Thank
That
you.
is all the lots. They're all gone except for that one practical magic coin, but that is successful. Putting
All
these all
right.
back real quick, you guys. You can flip the camera while I'm doing this, and we can close off with the giveaway.
Okay, we are going to, let me see how to flip more. Settings, camera, front camera, let's see. Okay, here we are. Lose the optivisors now.
Oh, that last one is gone. Cindy.
Fun times.
Cindy
Thank you,
H.
Lori. Thank you guys for spending
Everything's
your Sunday
gone.
with me, with us. I was going to have Greg, he's been working on new songs and playing them at open mics, and we were going to be like, hey, maybe you can close it out with a song. But then he disappeared and got shy all of a sudden.
He gets shy. It's like you'll play in front of all these strangers. He doesn't like being in front of the camera for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
he also wants to be an actor, so.
I don't know. All right, let's do the giveaway.
All right, you're
portion.
not allowed to look. This is my thing.
Azalea hates it when I look.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
she's like, I'll give a hint, and then she gives the answer. So,
That
okay.
was an isolated incident.
Well, it's still happening.
Okay, let's see.
So
Azalea.
this time I'm gonna do one thing. The round one is gonna be one you guys are used to. It's an animal, and then I'll give you guys the last two rounds that we have not done yet. Because I usually do like color, animal, number, and it gets kind of old, or gemstone, or flower. So these two are new, and we'll see how it goes. If you guys
Okay.
know me, you'll be able to guess. Okay, the first one is an animal. Guess an animal. If you guys don't get it quickly, I'll give you a singular hint, maybe two, if it takes a really long time.
They're coming in
But
fast.
Just know that I picked this animal, so
The comments are coming in very fast. Azalea, are you reading them?
I am reading them.
I
You can
see.
see the answer for this one, so you can look. So I can. So
I almost said it out loud, just
Yeah,
like I
see,
did the
you know
last
what?
time. I read it and I said it.
so
and
you
then
know it now. So watch for it. Some people are getting
Alright.
close.
I am watching this. See if I can get. I'm going to scroll back because I looked down for a second, and these are coming in so fast. Okay, I don't see it yet, but you know what? There's a bunch that I keep. Nope, I don't see it quite yet. All right, I'm looking through. Hippo, Shar-Pei, baboon. You guys are getting real creative. I like that. Cat, lizard, tiger, salamander, giraffe, tiger, emu, dingo, tortoise, horse, fox, cat, pig, bear, cat, polar bear, chipmunk, tiger, cougar, fish, lion, cheetah, cat, llama, mouse, elephant. You guys are going around it. Bear, lion, beaver, ocelot, raccoon, unicorn, bear.
Sorry. I have a blemish
Crab.
on my face that is just persistent. So did you give them a hint?
No, I didn't give any hints
Okay,
yet.
for the hint is that it has wings.
Can I do another hint?
No, not yet. We'll see what people say. Wings. Elephant, polar bear.
Oh, I think I saw it there.
Who is Facebook user? It's always a
No.
Facebook user. Oh, wait, no. Deborah Hubbard with bat. That's the
She
first
got
time I
it.
saw bat.
Yes, she got it.
All right, let's write down bat for the first one.
All right,
Congrats.
Deborah. Don't
That's-
write down bat. Write down
I
Deborah.
know, Deborah. I know. Last time I wrote down
Azalea.
panther, I was like, we were doing the answer was panther last time, and instead of writing the person's name, I wrote the word panther a second time.
So that's so perfect. So perfect. All right, let's see what this says here. Oh, I am.
Click the button here.
All right.
All right. We have to scroll all the way down because everybody's been. All right, you guys. That's just round one. Round two is a food. Your hint.
Oh,
is
that's
a
so
dessert.
broad.
I just gave them a hint. But
That-
you interrupted.
Thousand
Dessert.
things. Dessert. Okay.
Food,
It's like a million
dessert.
things.
I'll give you one singular hint because I'm sure you guys won't get it very fast. It's okay.
All
We're doing
right.
food now.
Okay,
a
now
dessert.
we see Mary says pie. I see cake, brownie.
It is a dessert, but sometimes I eat
Ice
it during the day just randomly.
Cheesecake, copper, cake, cookie.
Everybody's gonna have fun guessing this one. Everybody's thinking about food
Custard.
right now. You're getting close, you guys.
rice pudding, banana foster, donut, strawberry pie, fudge sundae.
Ah, that was close with rice pudding. Let's see who gets it after I just said that.
Shelly says rice pudding. I love rice pudding.
That's funny how your name shows up, Shelly. You don't have to say
Pudding. Pudding. Macaroon, popsicle, ice cream.
That's the thing.
Popsicle.
The answer is pudding. But I have to find the first person that said pudding. The first person I saw rice pudding. I was like, you're close, but it's not rice pudding. It's just pudding in general. I could say chocolate pudding. But Ann O'Neill is the first person that I saw say just pudding. So
Okay.
Ann, you win the
Ann.
second one. If you guys have never played before, the giveaway is a $20 gift certificate for our website, gringlestudios.com. It's right there at the bottom of our right there, and then our email you can have right there. That's
don't
Mom's
see it.
email. It's because it's blocked by this.
Oh.
So our winner for the food round is Ann O'Neill. I'll email you your gift certificate. That's round 2. We have one round left.
One more round.
Okay, so this next round,
Jello.
this final round, and if you guys know me, you'll probably guess it immediately. Whoever maybe watches my Instagram, maybe. The final third round for the giveaway of $20 is a celebrity. Your hint is a musician. Don't say it.
I didn't even see it.
You breathed hard. It looks like you were about to go.
I didn't say it. I didn't
She
say
almost
it.
did. I feel like she almost did. So
I did not
round
say
3,
it.
the final round, is a celebrity musician that
Terry
I like.
says David Bowie.
You're
love
close
him.
with that. I love David
Harry
Bowie.
Styles. I
We
also love him.
We love Harry Styles.
Robert Smith.
Ann Schroeder. There
Ann
you go. That
Schroeder
took about
knows
3
you.
guesses. Ann Schroeder, I think, follows me on Instagram. She knows. That didn't
Bruno
even. You guys
Mars,
didn't
love
even get your
Bruno.
guesses in. That was the 3rd guess in, and Ann Schroeder gets
Ann-
it with Robert Smith because he's my favorite musician.
We saw him.
Oh my God, it was the best day of my life. That was the best week
was
of my
a really-
life.
that
When we
was a
went to
good
California, when we went to California, my friend, the day before, my friend Mary Cravens gifted me with 2 giant
Big
file
boxes.
boxes of like vintage and historical like costuming patterns. Because she was like, I used to be costuming, but I'm retired now and I don't really use these, so you can just have them. She's gonna ship me 2 boxes. It's like thousands of dollars worth of patterns, and some
And I
of them you
bought
can't
them.
even get
I
anymore.
bought them. You know how you get? You're like, I want
And
this
I didn't
pattern. They
have
don't
most
make it
of them.
anymore. And so, if you
Like,
want that
all my
pattern,
patterns can fit in a little shoe box, but she sent me.
I know
like,
that's including. I mean, we're pretty.
I
I'm
was
pretty
shook.
frugal with my pattern.
And then like the day
purchasing.
after this excellent event, we went and saw The Cure, and I was gripped the whole time. I did not sit down.
her
at
eyes.
all,
I
or
had to sit
barely at
down.
all.
I had to sit down because, number one, I get tired, and I wanted to. I was just, I could see, but it was better when I was sitting. I thought, I told Azalea, I said, ideal concert conditions are if, say, we saw Radiohead, my favorite. I love Radiohead. I said my ideal conditions to see them would be maybe they come here, I go there
Some high
to their
expectations.
basement, in the basement where they play. And if I have my knitting and crochet, maybe a light so I can see what I was doing, and then they can play and I can listen. That's ideal conditions. She doesn't think it can happen, but I said I can manifest that.
Yeah.
Put it out in the universe and say, hey, Tom York, if you feel like, maybe we can make a trade or carve a
Oh, yeah,
ring for
Terry,
you or
there were
something."
seats, but I did not utilize it. I was standing because we had neighbors. Okay, the
Terry,
girl in front
I'm
of
with
me-
you. I used to stand for all shows. Now, if there isn't seating, I am not going.
I know.
Same.
But I
same.
have never. That was the first and only time I've ever seen The Cure, and there's a slim chance that I'll get an opportunity to see them again because they're getting up there. And Robert Smith does not like touring in the States.
He's all the time.
He
getting
does
fired
not
up.
like
He does
America.
not like how America.
He's
He saw the price of the
salty.
drinks, and he was like,
He argued. He did battle with Ticketmaster for real. I love him. He's awesome. But you know what? There's a good chance that after this tour, if he says that they're retiring, that's believable at this point because they're all in their mid to late 60s. So I don't know. That's retiring age. But I was very excited to see them. I was very, very excited to see them.
Azalea, we are old. We don't stand for hours anymore. We are tired. We did our time. I'm with you. We saw LP, what was it, last 2 years ago? And it was standing, and I
It was
found a bar
pre-pandemic. That was like
that
4
I
years
could
ago.
stand in front of
We
and
saw
lean.
her in like 2018.
And let me just tell you, I guarded that spot like my life depended on it. I was like, listen, I'm not budging from this. I have a pole at my back that I can lean up against. And I told her at that point, I said, this is the last time I go to a concert that I got to stand for. Otherwise,
Well,
I'm
I
gonna...
get excited enough where it's worth it for me. But anyway, Anne asks, do I need to do anything for my prize? If you've never shopped with us before, if you've never bought anything from our website or signed up for our newsletter, I'm not going to have your email. And that's, the email is the way I'm going to send you the gift card. So if you haven't shopped with us or given us your email, you can send me a message, Azalea Belle Ogden, on Facebook Messenger, and then you can send me your email address, and then I can email you your $20 gift certificate. So... I know I have Deborah Hubbard and Ann Schroeder, but Ann, if you haven't put in your email, just message me.
Right on. All right. Thank you, folks, for sticking with us. What does it say? 2 hours and 15 minutes?
I know.
Oh,
tired.
Terry, I saw Cher live in Milwaukee one year when we did Beat and
I love
Button.
Cher.
And we got those tickets because they didn't sell out for some reason. It was during Pride in Milwaukee, and there were still tons of seats. We got them for $7. And granted, the seats were not amazing. They were up high. They're nosebleed seats. But I tell you what, Cher came out. I'm not exaggerating, people. She put on a full, it was like you were watching Cirque
She
du
still
Soleil.
wears those little sheer
I mean,
leotards.
it was an insane production. Like all these dancers, I was like, holy cow, people, you don't know what you're missing. And there was a lift, right? It was like some kind of cage thing, contraption.
Oh,
that
we need
she
to read the
flew
names of the people that
around
got lots.
and around the thing. So she came up like, I mean, I could have touched her. And you know what I focused on? I'm ashamed to say this, but I could not take my eyes off of her body. I know I should be ashamed, but I was like, Cher.
In her 70s.
She's wearing a mesh, you know. It doesn't, I mean, it's not like she had Spanx on. It was a mesh you can kind of see through with all these Swarovski rhinestones, like bedazzling all up and down the arms. But it was basically like as if she had a pantyhose suit that had rhinestones all over it. So I was like, how?
We got to do this real quick. Before
right,
people
anyway.
start dropping off, I'm going to read off the names of people that got lots tonight. So, we have Julie Liston, Cynthia Auerhan, Mary Schwartz, Kathy Tutmark, Donna Karames, Connie Pasternak, Rosalinda Cruz, Kathleen Batchelor, Jermaine Quider, Lori Waltman, Ann Schroeder, Wendy Hawkins, Kathleen Kavanaugh, Suzanne Gallagher, and June Fujimoto. You guys got
Thank
lots
you guys
tonight.
so much for showing up for us. If you want to do us a solid and share or like our videos, it really helps
Or
get the word
you can
out.
even comment ideas for demos you'd like to see, because
That's
that's a
another
weekly
one.
thing, is trying to figure out what to do for the demo.
Yeah, it's always a thing. And sometimes I don't know what people want to see. So I like to get ideas. I have some ideas. What we've been doing is going through the book, the Enchanted Adornments, and finding projects in there that people have said over the years, oh, I'd love to see a tutorial for that. And sometimes I just have stuff that I make for myself for my finished jewelry. A lot of times I'm not going to make production of polymer clay beads because that's one more thing I don't have time for. But I'll make a handful for my own
Vicky's
my own
still
jet
thinking
things.
about the Zoom session.
Vicky,
Deborah,
let you guys
love
make
you,
a
ladies.
post if you
Thank
want. If you guys
We
are
love
in
you
our
too,
group,
Deborah. We love you too.
somebody go make a post and say that. I guess I could make that post. Finishing clay beads, diamond glaze, or resin. It's good. I love that story. I'm gonna buff mine.
I'm gonna make some cherry beads out of clay, and then
Yes.
I'm gonna glaze them. And then
Why
I'm gonna
glaze
make...
when you can buff? That's just mom
Well,
saying
I
you
could
can
do
buff 'em.
both because
you can
cherries
do
are
both.
shiny.
Cherries
You buff
are
them
very
and then
shiny.
glaze them.
You know what you could do is you could buff them and then go over them with like a UV clear resin, and then that's not going anywhere. Can you
That's what I'm
imagine
saying.
that? Vicky
Buff
wants
it.
to do some carving. Well, Vicky, it's not difficult. It's just muscle memory. Once you train your hands to do it, it's like it just never stops. Thank you, Holly. She says, thanks, gals, for your creative spirit and sharing your skills. No problem. Thank you guys for being with us all. You know, there's 40
For
of you out
2
there
hours.
right now for over 2 hours. So, yes, buff and add UV resin drops of water. It's
Oh,
fun.
that would be
So,
satisfying. Then it
I'm
would look
gonna-
like freshly washed cherries on my ears, or like
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
a necklace. I was thinking about making, like, you know those 90s chokers where they have little dingle dangles that were really popular? Instead of making some like cringy business like that, I could make one that had little drops of fruit, and then it would be like
That's-
completely weird because I've never seen that before.
A fruit necklace. It's like something from the 50s.
Fruit. Makes for good jewelry. Fruit looks good. Lemons, strawberries, cherries. You guys remember in 2020 when there was that strawberry dress that was like $400 trending on Twitter and everybody was obsessed with it, and now you can get it for like 15 on Shein or something. I'm not gonna buy something like that.
Well, you know, you got that
no.
fabric. She bought
I
fabric
bought some
recently.
stretchy rib knit fabric. I only got a yard of it, so I'm gonna make a tank top. But it's like my favorite color, pink, and it has strawberries on it. And I'm gonna make a little tank top
You got enough
with
for
a
two?
lettuce hem. Yeah, I could make two. I'll make you one if you want to wear that. but
Oh,
it's
thank
not really
you.
your color palette.
All right. Well, I've been saving fruit beads to make a Carmen Miranda necklace. That's a good idea. I like that story. I love the look of fruit. I made one with mushrooms, and this is not going to surprise y'all, but the mushrooms all broke. So I have to redo it. I mean, I'm not surprised because it was kind of a fiddly, you know, but the part where the cap and the stem broke. So that to me tells me that it does need reinforcement. So I'll show you sometime, but I had a whole thing and they look kind of real. It looked like, I don't know, I think it was almost too real. It looked like I went out in the woods and just strung up dried mushrooms I found. So I don't know. That was a different look. It wasn't as polished as I was hoping. So I don't know. All right, folks. Let's
2.5
get together
hours.
again. Let's do a Zoom where we can craft
We'll figure
together.
out some way to get it where we can select it. Like we can randomly select a certain amount of people from a list
What
of
we'll
people that
do-
are interested, and then we can do a Zoom thing.
So
'Cause,
let's
you know,
do that. Let's make a post. If anybody wants to do it and say, hey, let's do a Zoom time. You guys put in the time that works and everybody can kind of, you know, we'll do it. And then Azalea will figure out how to make a Zoom thing that we can all
Azalea will
join.
figure that out.
And then we'll do it. So let's keep that, you know, we'll come up with a project. Why
We'll come
not?
up with a project and give you guys like a week's preparation so you can get what you need. And
Yeah.
then we'll do it together on the Zoom.
And
do
it'll be
something,
fun.
you know.
Kathleen says
cha-cha
I
bracelet
remade a
beads.
fruit cha-cha bracelet from the 70s. I want that. Oh. Thank you, Carla. You should see Love Sunday nights. I appreciate that. We really do. All right, folks. We're going to
Relax a
we're gonna
little bit.
watch some Father Brown probably, and maybe make some more polymer beads. I'll show you what we make tomorrow. I got this stuff out, and my fingers are itching to make more, and I want to buff some more because that part is oddly satisfying if I do say so myself.
You
All right,
guys
friends.
you should receive your gift cards right after the live and the invoices tomorrow,
All right,
so nobody's confused. All right, good night, everybody.
you guys take care. Have a good
Thank
week.
you for joining us.